Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of In Conversation by Advisorkhoj. Today in conversation, our guest is Mr. Manish Mehta, National Head of Sales, Marketing and Digital Business of Kotak Mutual Fund. As you all know, Manish is a veteran in our Indian asset management industry, besides being a very, very dear friend and an ex-colleague as well. Welcome Manish to In Conversation by Advisorkhoj today.
Thanks a lot, Suren. It's a pleasure to be on the show and having this fantastic conversation with you.
Thank you very much, Manish, for joining in. So, Manish, Kotak Mutual Fund conducted a very, very successful investor education and awareness program recently, covering over 52,000 CBSE school teachers under Sikho Peso Ki Bhasha. So, could you tell our viewers more about this initiative?
Yeah, sure. Suren, this started up actually as an experiment where about a year back, we conducted a few IAP programs in a few, about 5 to 10 in some schools, along with the teachers, imparting them knowledge about financial investments and, why it's important. And what we learned was that the awareness levels were so poor that at the end of every such IAP program, the teachers would come back and say that, this was fantastic and it's
Mhm.
great to know about a subject matter that, we are not so very familiar with. And it's like when we discussed it internally, we felt that, at the end of the day, as individuals where we are today, it's, I think, the strong foundation that our teachers or, during our schooling days, our college days, the kind of knowledge or, principles that were imparted to us has given us the strong footing to where we are all as individuals. And we felt that, okay, fine, maybe let's look to take this and amp it up a bit, and from 5 to 10 program, like we ended up conducting a substantial amount of programs. We As you mentioned, we covered more than 50,000 teachers.
Mhm.
And the most heartening part was that at least 80 to 85% of that population were women teachers.
Mhm.
And it's been and we just I think it's a fantastic experience. And because more importantly, a is just not about us imparting financial knowledge and making them financially independent. It's also about the fact that because they have that some understanding of managing finances or understanding about investments, and which I guess that in a lot of their homes, it would be the spouse or the partner who would be taking such decisions. So at least they will also be able to play a little bit more active role in decision making as far as investments is concerned.
So, no, this is really a wonderful initiative taken up. I think this would be the largest investor education and awareness program held ever.
Yeah, I think so. In terms of, I mean, through these various programs, like, having covered, more than 50,000 participants. And in fact, we did even issue a press release recently where,
Yes.
we ended up getting the Asia's Book of Record
Yes.
for, conducting an IAP of that scale.
Congratulations for it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
So, Manish, what are your plans for Kotak Mutual Fund in FY 24-25, and any specific trends you will watch for?
No, so I think as a firm, our philosophy has been very clear that in terms of we continue to like obviously keep a growth map or a growth path ahead of us. Obviously build a business with very strong partnership and foundation while working with the distribution partners, because at the end of the day they are my ultimate
Sweet.
customers. And in case if they like us, if they like our products, then they will then go
Mhm.
and talk about us to their clients also. And if you see the trend for, say, maybe 2014-15 onwards till about last year, while an industry has seen an average growth of about 15 to 16%, at least, Kotak has grown ahead of the industry. I think this year also our endeavor will obviously be like, continue the growth momentum. And like, in terms of how can we keep increasing market share. And more importantly, how can we, in this journey, look at reaching out to newer centers, newer cities, probably new customers, because the reality is that thanks to even the Amphi campaign of
Mhm.
mutual funds, sahi hai, awareness of mutual funds per se has started to increase
That's
substantially,
right.
and we are seeing a lot of new customers or new pan addition that's happening at the industry. So the idea will always be that through the network of distribution partners, we look to increase that, activate a lot of partners who have sort of empaneled with us, especially in the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and let's probably work together to see to it that we're able to spread financial awareness and try to make as many Indians financially independent. That would be what I think would our journey be.
That's great. So more penetration, more financial awareness, more new to mutual fund investors coming on board. Excellent. So what have been some of the recent digital initiatives which you have taken at Kotak Mutual Fund, particularly if you could, for the financial advisors or the mutual fund distributors as well as the investors?
Yeah. So we, our website, which is kotakmf.com, that underwent a complete change,
Mhm.
both on the tech side also and in terms of the user experience. So that was step one that we wanted to sort of put that in place. The app version, while we do have an app version, there is work going on currently on that space also to sort of enhance it further with features which are distributor friendly in case if they've been using the our app or our website to initiate transactions for their customers, or it could also be for maybe direct customers who probably prefer to come to our website or our app and then do some transactions of their choice. From a distribution perspective, we had launched Business Hub, which is our portal meant for MFD partners, and this year at least we've added a lot of couple of new features to it. And I would say I would actually like to thank our MFD partners because it is their constant feedback that they keep giving us in terms of what are some of the features that they probably believe could be helpful to them when they've been using Business Hub to for transaction purposes or just sort of wanting to any information on Kotak Mutual Fund. So based on the feedbacks that we've been getting, we constantly keep enhancing those features also. And like today, we have a strong 25,000 plus partners
Mhm.
who have registered on Business Hub and have been using Business Hub in some form or the other. And
Mhm.
it's just not a transaction portal. In the sense like a lot of our marketing material is available on Business Hub, which they can co-brand with their identities and share with their customers. So when a client gets something, it's just not that it's a forward from a Kotak Mutual Fund, but it actually represents the partner also in front of the client, saying that this is a joint activity or a
True.
joint effort.
True.
So so that it helps. There are certain features that we have been building in on the upselling or cross selling of products. So at least it can help them deepen a relationship with existing set of clients who may be having maybe a folio or two in Kotak Mutual Fund or just maybe one particular scheme investment.
Sure.
And learning and development, which has been one area of focus for us. And a lot of our content, ProStart, which is our brand of from a training and learning development perspective, a lot of my content online is also available on Business Hub, which they can sort of refer
Sure.
to maybe sort of enhance some skill sets that they believe like they need to go through.
So 25,000 MFDs registered on Business Hub is a very large number. And I
Yes,
think the L&D part is a very, very interesting part because any education they require about the products or any requirement they have is all available at
yes,
Business Hub. That's a great
true.
initiative. So, of course, the next question is SIPs have become a trend in our country. So the numbers what we see are 8.4 crore SIP accounts. FY 23-24, we've seen the highest ever SIP collections of almost 2 lakh crore. And so much so that the SIP AUM is over 10.7 lakh crore. But at the same point of time, we have seen the trend as well that a lot of SIPs are being stopped by the investors as well. So, Manish, what are your thoughts around that, and what message would you like to give for the viewers on around the SIP? Because SIPs are all about long term. So, what message would you
Sure.
like to deliver?
Yeah. No, so as you said it right, Suren, I think, recently someone asked me that, maybe because the markets are doing very well, that's why SIP numbers are strong.
Yeah,
And what do you believe in terms of from a trend perspective as far as SIP is going forward? And my answer to him was, I think it's a movement now. And I think, I think it's like that a snowball that, as it comes rolling down the hill and it accumulates more and more snow, it just becomes bigger and bigger. I
right.
said, I think the trend for SIPs as a prudent way of investments, I think is a long-term trend. It's not anything to do with market conditions. I think it will continue. And you look at it, how it's benefited our advisor partners also. If you see last, I would say 2014-15 onwards, majority distribution partners in the industry have promoted investments through SIPs and STPs and diversified fund. So the investor experience has been so positive, through these different kind of partners who have always, advised customers to do what is in their best interest.
Yes.
That even, it's a win-win for both, for the investor also, as well as for the distributor also. So I think that trend of, continuing to use SIPs as a mode of investment, I guess, will continue. Yes, definitely, there are a lot of new investors who now understand, what is an SIP. We don't need to sell it anymore. People understand what is a SIP, and and proactively come and tell us that I want to start an SIP. So
Mm-hmm.
that also helps. Uh, with regards to, like, say for example, certain closures in SIPs that you mentioned about, they could be two pronged. One obviously could be that, uh, is there a strong follow up mechanism with existing set of investors?
Mm. True.
Maybe their SIPs are coming up for renewal, they are not aware about it, or or the tenure for which they have chosen the SIP is already done. So I think one is putting a strong renewal mechanism, that so that both at the distributor partner level as well as at a manufacturing level, we're able to reach out to these customers much ahead in time to let them know that
Sure.
your SIPs are coming up for a renewal, and would you like to extend it, or or things like that. Which I guess a lot of people are doing in their efforts, to ensure that at least closures from that perspective, like that number keeps coming now. The other definitely is that there are a lot of people who are sort of using SIPs, or treating SIP like as if they're buying a stock.
Mm-hmm.
And while they do start one, and in case if they believe that they're not seeing the desired return, then they seem to be losing patience too quickly.
Yes.
And I think my advice to such kind of investors is that don't treat an investment in an SIP with the same treatment like what you would want to give in case if you decide to buy a stock. Or this is not an Amazon basket where you can order some like some product for yourself, and after 2 days you feel it's not working well and you return it back
That's
again.
right. That's
So
so true.
so please don't treat this like your Amazon product, or a Flipkart product. I think this has to be, this has to be given time, and patience is very, very important in this. And I would say that at least there is enough data to show that if an investor has patiently continued with his SIPs over reasonable period of time, I mean, the kind of wealth compounding effect that they've seen on their portfolios is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And SIP actually has become a product by itself,
Yes.
right? And as how I see, there are enough efforts which are being put in by the industry to acquire new clients. And but very rightly said by you that there has to be enough effort need to be put in to maintain the client,
Yes.
specifically to those clients who have stopped the SIPs prior to the time period, or SIPs which are coming closer to maturity.
Yeah.
Because
So
anybody who's invested is a happy investor whose SIP is actually maturing. So if those trends can be walked around, talked around, that these are the kind of returns which you made through the statements or whatsoever, and the maintenance of the investor and a reminder is a very critical for those SIPs to continue happening. That's
yeah.
a very
So
good point.
let's, like if we take COVID as a classic
Hmm.
case, at that point of time when markets corrected sharply, I think a lot of investors started to lose patience, and we did see massive amount of SIP closures. And the industry, I mean, at Kotak Mutual Fund, I recollect that we sort of probably worked overnight, and maybe within a week's time
Hmm.
we sort of launched the SIP POS facility,
Hmm.
which many more other people in the industry had. And the whole endeavor was to see to it that use that as a tool rather than stopping SIPs. Yeah, I recollect doing so many, when we would do these webinars, we would
Hmm.
tell our partners that, listen, yeah, I'm sure you're indebted with a lot of your clients coming to say कि SIP band kar do, markets are going down.
Hmm.
I said please go back and educate them that that at an industry now there is a feature called as pause, where you could
Hmm.
decide up to what period of time you don't want your bank account to hit. And once you're comfortable with your own say monetary situation, and then you can then maybe continue with the SIP. So the idea was because once a customer stops an SIP, to sort of get him back again and to do the entire setup process of a SIP is pretty cumbersome. So pause is a good alternative to that, and I think a lot of partners have had used that as an alternative to educate
Yes,
investors, saying that
absolutely.
please let's not stop it. You pause it at your convenience, and maybe start again.
Today, so much of innovation has happened around the SIP per se
Yes.
that it's something which can continue with it's a SIP top up or a pause, etc. So true. So, what are your thoughts around the micro SIP initiative of per SIP?
So I think, see, the whole idea is that, as you said, in your opening remarks, that about close to about 8 crore SIP accounts,
Mhm.
and if you just, I think we still have a long way to go in terms of and if as I told in my opening remarks, I said that want to work with the partners to see to
Mhm.
it that how we can sort of reach out to more and more Indian investors and make them financially independent.
Mhm.
So we have a long way to go, and I think um, a sachetization of product, or like offering something like an SIP in smaller amounts,
Mhm.
I think is a good initiative and a good endeavor. And it's basically to nudge someone to say कि try to kar lo.
Exactly.
And अगर experience अच्छा होगा तो फिर you can
100%.
continue adding on more
100%.
money. So the intent definitely is very, very right, but it's just that at this point of time, the cost involved in onboarding a customer with an SIP of that amount, is economically not viable as far as the industry is concerned, because there are, payment gateway charges, there are, the exchange costs, there is a cost for onboarding a customer in case if it's a first time to the industry as far as
Yes.
KYC and all is concerned. So I think that's where I guess is a bit of a challenge, and I'm sure that as we work as an industry to sort of rationalize these costs and make it economically viable, then definitely, like you will see that much more participation, that much more, I would say, push even at an industry level, because yes, why not? I mean, we would also want that more and more customers look at SIPs as a tool to start their investment journey.
Yeah, very rightly, because it will also lead to a lot of financial awareness, and will also lead to a lot of financialization of assets, and more investments coming towards the mutual funds and long-term wealth creation as well. Absolutely. So, what do you believe the industry growth will be in next few years? And Manish, in particular, how do you believe more investors can be brought in to this wonderful industry, and how this can be multiplied? Because all said and done, the unique pan investors, are still, yes, they are definitely growing, but not at the pace we would probably expect them to grow. Correct. So, how would you believe the growth of the industry, new investors coming in to the mutual fund industry? What are your thoughts around?
No, so as I said, I think as I mentioned that last couple of years average growth 15% plus at an industry level. I think this momentum or trajectory definitely is encouragingly moving upwards, and I think a as I think the initiative just generally at an industry level, one obviously is through these entire awareness campaigns which Amphi has been running in terms, so reaching out to more and more newer investors,
Mhm.
getting them to know more about mutual funds. I think that progression, I think, is going on very well, and I think it will only just keep intensifying. I think there are a lot of efforts at different mutual fund level that people have been doing in terms of, like as I mentioned, we did Seekho Paiso Ki Bhasha.
Hmm.
We have in the past also run certain investor awareness programs of like Mr. SIP to sort of educate existing and maybe newer investors in terms of the benefits of investing through SIPs. About 2 years back, we ran an awareness program on go automatic with balance advantage funds. Basically, just educating the concept of multi-asset allocation products
Yeah.
and how
Yes.
they could be beneficial to investor. So I think those efforts will continue to keep moving ahead. Even I would say that the industry, which is as far as our industry participants are concerned, mutual fund distribution partners, a lot of them are also like, taking a lot of initiatives to, keep expanding the base of investors. And I think as more and more people keep learning about benefits of investing through mutual funds, and I think if as we move ahead in terms of like, if you're able to onboard customers a little more seamlessly in terms of first timers to start their investment journey, I think definitely we will continue to see this growth trajectory moving upwards as far as our industry is concerned.
Sure, absolutely. I think more and more asset management companies to track the unique pan investors more at their end, more micro, in a micro manner, to understand exactly where the growth trends are going towards.
Sure.
Yeah. So through this in conversation, what message, Manish, you would like to give to the advisors, to the mutual fund distributors, as well as the investors?
No, so I think it's like as far as our mutual fund distributors are concerned, I think we I mean I would say at the end of the day where we are partners in progress.
Right.
So it's a collective effort. I can't say that, hey, listen, I will do the job of the manufacturer, and it's you who's supposed to go and bring in new customers. At the end of the day, it is a business of partnership where us as manufacturers and them as distribution partners, we need to collectively work together to see how we can deepen the industry as well as widen the industry. So I think for us anyway that it's always that lagero munabai, because I think that's what we'll have to keep doing. And you can't take a day's breather to say that, okay, today I let me rest it out. I
That's
think
right.
it's a movement.
That's
And we're all part of that movement. And I think and it's very, very fulfilling, because today us as manufacturer, when we launch good products in which distribution partners repose their faith of their clients and give us money, and when over a period of time these customers, when they see their wealth creation happening or them able to achieve their goals, it's very fulfilling, I would say, for both the parties, that hey, at least it's such a noble profession that we are in, that we can we can only think good of the investors. We cannot ever think bad for the investor. So I think that is what we'll have to continue to keep going at. As far as investor is concerned, I mean, today I would say the industry, I would including the private sector. If you see today, there are a lot of private mutual fund schemes which are celebrating 15-year, 20-year, 25 years of existence, even up to 30 years of existence. And if I was just to say that, okay, fine, we today have customers probably who have been investing in mutual funds in the 30-year bracket, 25-year bracket, 20-year bracket, I would say 1-year bracket also. And the longer the customer's investment experience has been, he loves this product, because in spite of all the volatility that he has seen during his investment journey, I think the returns that he's seeing in his portfolios are extremely encouraging.
Absolutely.
And I think what we need to probably even keep educating the newer set of investors, who in the last 2-3 years have considered mutual fund as a first time investor, to say that, okay, let me experiment. This is a patience game. You will need to be a little bit more patient. And it's like that roller coaster ride, which when one takes it, is extremely scary. But I know once the ride ends and we come out, we all are very happy that, oh, what a we had a fantastic experience. It was a good fun day types. I think investor will have to continue to be patient. They'll have to sort of believe in the India story, and they have to believe in, as far as the industry is concerned, the product is concerned, distribution is concerned. And I think if they need to give time for long-term wealth creation. I think they'll have to be patient.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And what I always say is that for the asset management industry, we started from a point, but the journey itself is the process, and the destination is never ending.
Yes.
So hence, the journey has to be continued. And for the investor, of course, there is a destination, which is the risk-adjusted performances, beating the benchmarks. But this journey and this process has to continue for the growth.
Yes.
So wonderful insight, Manish. So Great having you today on the call and hearing about Kotak Mutual Fund's thought process, your plans on the distribution, and a wonderful initiative through Seeko Peso Ki Bhasha, and with over 52,000 CBSE school teachers being made aware about the financial awareness. So thank you very, very much, Manish, for taking out time from your schedule and joining in today in conversation by Advisorkhoj. And
Yeah.
our best wishes to you and Kotak Mutual Fund.
Thank you, Suren. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, sharing my thoughts and speaking to you. And look forward to many more such sessions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.